Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Belief is more than a thought, more than a feeling, more than a quiet hope buried deep inside your heart. Belief is a force. It is the invisible power that pushes you through battles you never thought you could fight and lifts you in moments when everything around you is trying to break you down. Life will always present situations that test your confidence, shake your expectations, and challenge your vision. But the difference between those who rise and those who fall is simple: what they believe. You don't need everything to make sense before you start moving. Many people wait for perfect clarity, perfect timing, perfect resources, yet perfection is an illusion. You don't rise when everything is right. You rise when you decide to believe despite everything that's wrong. Belief is the spark that starts the engine of your purpose. When you believe in the possibility of greater things, you begin to attract opportunities you once thought were unreachable. Belief does something inside you. It awakens resilience. It reminds you that you've survived difficulties before and you can survive them again. It tells you that your story is not over, that the chapter you are living is not the ending, but preparation. Even when your environment whispers, "Impossible," belief shouts back, "Try again." It becomes the voice you need when your strength is low and your vision is blurred. At times, you will face moments where believing becomes the hardest thing to do. You may feel overwhelmed by failure, betrayed by people, or discouraged by delays. But those very moments are where belief matters the most. Belief is not proven when everything is easy. Belief is proven when the odds are stacked against you. When you keep standing, keep trusting, and keep pushing forward, you unlock strength you never knew you had. Your belief has the power to transform not just your mind, but your future. Whatever you continuously think, expect, and work toward eventually becomes the direction of your life. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. But belief, strong, consistent belief, keeps dreams alive until they become reality. So today, remind yourself believing matters. Not because it magically removes challenges, but because it gives you the courage to overcome them. Believe in your purpose. Believe in your growth. Believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. And most importantly, believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Belief activates purpose because it awakens something inside you that nothing else can. When a person truly believes in a vision, a dream, or a calling, they begin to see life differently. Belief creates a shift in attitude, a shift in focus, a shift in energy. Most people walk through life reacting to circumstances, moving wherever the winds of pressure or fear push them. But when belief enters the heart, you stop reacting and you start directing. You begin to move with intention. You begin to see possibilities where others see limitations. Belief does not instantly change your surroundings, but it completely transforms your inner world. And once the inner world changes, everything outside eventually starts to follow. Purpose is not something you randomly find one day. It is something that begins to activate the moment you choose to believe that your life has meaning. Many individuals live far below their potential, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack belief. They convince themselves that their dreams are too big, their skills too small, their past too painful, or their present too ordinary. What they fail to understand is that purpose lies dormant inside them, waiting for one spark. That spark is belief. When you believe you are meant for something greater, you start moving differently. You stop tolerating environments that shrink you, relationships that drain you, and habits that limit you. You start putting yourself in places that support your growth. You begin aligning your actions with the vision you hold in your heart. Belief begins to shape your choices, and choices shape your destiny. There are people with extraordinary talent who never rise because they do not believe in themselves. At the same time, there are people with ordinary backgrounds who achieve extraordinary things because they dared to believe. Belief becomes the fuel that drives action. You can have a beautiful idea, a powerful dream, or a clear goal, but without belief, you will never fully pursue it. Fear will overpower you. Doubt will silence you. But when belief takes root, fear loses its control. Doubt becomes less convincing. You become more determined, more courageous, more willing to step into the unknown. Belief gives you permission to start even when you don't feel ready. It gives you the strength to continue even when progress seems slow. It gives you endurance when challenges hit and people misunderstand you. Belief also activates creativity. When you believe something is possible, your mind starts searching for ways to make it happen. You start thinking in solutions instead of problems. You start imagining strategies, building plans, and creating pathways that were previously invisible. Belief opens the door to innovation because it expands your mental boundaries. A limited mind cannot produce unlimited results, but a believing mind can see what others can't. It begins to stretch, explore, experiment, and discover. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history happened because someone believed in a possibility long before anyone else did. They believed before the resources came. They believed before the support arrived. They believed before the results appeared. Their belief activated their purpose, and their purpose changed the world. Another powerful aspect is that belief attracts the right opportunities and the right people. When you walk in belief, you carry a different energy, a sense of direction, clarity, and confidence. People can sense when you are serious about your purpose. They can feel your passion and your drive. This draws mentors, supporters, collaborators, and partners toward you. It creates movement. Belief is magnetic. It pulls things into your life that doubt would push away. When you believe in your purpose, you stop begging for validation. You stop chasing approval. You stop adjusting yourself to fit into small places. You begin to stand tall, walk boldly, and speak with conviction. This confidence signals to the world that you are ready for the next level, and opportunities begin to align themselves with your path. Belief also awakens discipline. When you believe your purpose matters, you start making choices that honor that purpose. You sacrifice comfort for growth. You replace excuses with effort. You value progress over perfection. Belief creates consistency. It reminds you why you started. It helps you stay committed even when the enthusiasm fades. Many people begin strong but quit easily because their belief was weak. But when belief is strong, you keep showing up. You keep practicing, improving, learning, and stretching yourself. This discipline becomes the bridge between vision and reality. Purpose without discipline remains a dream. Belief turns that dream into a daily pursuit. Belief strengthens your resilience when obstacles appear, and they always do. Belief gives you the power to rise again. Without belief, challenges feel final, failures feel fatal, rejections feel personal. But with belief, every setback becomes a lesson, every delay becomes preparation, and every difficulty becomes an opportunity to grow stronger. Belief reminds you that the journey is bigger than the moment. It reminds you that progress often comes disguised as struggle. It helps you see pain as temporary and purpose as permanent. This resilience is what separates those who make it from those who don't. Not intelligence, not luck, not background, but belief. Belief strong enough to withstand pressure. There will always be moments when the path is unclear, when the progress is slow, when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. In those moments, belief activates purpose again and again. It brings you back to your why. It whispers to you that what you carry inside you is too important to abandon. It tells you that the world needs what you have, even if no one has recognized it yet. Belief is the quiet strength that keeps dreams alive until the world is ready to see them. When you look back at your life, you will realize that every major breakthrough began with a moment of belief, a moment where you said, "I think I can do this," a moment where you stepped beyond fear, a moment where you chose courage over comfort. That choice created a shift that changed everything. Your purpose was not unlocked by chance or luck. It was activated the moment you decided to believe. This is why believing matters, not because it guarantees an easy path, but because it guarantees movement, it guarantees growth, it guarantees transformation. It turns ordinary lives into extraordinary journeys, and the more you believe, the more you become. Belief strengthens resilience because it creates an inner foundation that circumstances cannot easily shake. Life will always bring seasons of loss, seasons of confusion, and seasons where everything feels heavier than you expected. In those moments, talent alone isn't enough. Intelligence alone isn't enough. Support from others is valuable, but even that cannot hold you together if your inner belief collapses. What truly keeps a person standing through storms is the strength of their belief. The belief that their journey still has purpose, that their life still has direction, and that their struggle still has meaning. Without belief, challenges feel like walls. With belief, challenges become doors. Belief is the force that allows you to step through what should have stopped you. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build. And the building of resilience is directly connected to the strength of your belief. When you believe that you can endure, you find energy you didn't know you had. When you believe that the situation will change, you learn to be patient with the process. When you believe that there is something valuable on the other side of the struggle, you begin to push with more determination, more consistency, and more courage. People who lack belief break easily because they do not see purpose in their pain. They do not understand why they should keep fighting. But people who believe deeply rise again and again because they see beyond the moment. They see the possibility of a better future. Every challenge you face becomes a test of what you believe. When disappointment hits, belief reminds you that failure is not final. When people betray you, belief tells you that their exit does not end your destiny. When delays stretch longer than expected, belief teaches you to trust timing more than timelines. It is belief that helps you breathe when pressure is suffocating. It gives you a voice when fear is loud. It gives you direction when everything feels uncertain. This is why people who cultivate strong belief often survive things that should have destroyed them. Their resilience is not a result of perfect conditions. It is a result of an unshakable inner world. Belief also transforms how you interpret suffering. Without belief, suffering looks pointless. You feel punished, forgotten, or unlucky. But with belief, suffering becomes a classroom. You start to see lessons, strength, wisdom, and growth hidden inside the struggle. You begin to understand that sometimes life breaks you only to rebuild you stronger. Sometimes you lose things that were never meant to stay. Sometimes something needs to fall apart so that something better can come together. Belief lets you endure these seasons without losing yourself. It gives you patience when answers are delayed and courage when outcomes are unclear. Resilience grows with every trial you survive. Each time you overcome a hardship, your belief becomes stronger. Each time you rise from a setback, you gain more confidence. Each time you persist through pain, your capacity expands. What once overwhelmed you no longer feels impossible. Challenges that used to intimidate you now seem manageable. This is how belief strengthens resilience step by step, season by season. Before long, you start to realize that you have survived more than you give yourself credit for. You have walked through storms you thought would drown you. You have climbed mountains you once feared. You have healed from wounds that seemed too deep. And with every victory, visible or invisible, your resilience grows and your belief deepens. Belief also strengthens resilience by shaping your perspective. When difficulties arise, most people immediately panic or lose hope. But a believing person views challenges differently. They understand that storms do not come to destroy them, but to expose their strength. They understand that resistance is part of growth. They know that pressure produces power and patience produces maturity. This mindset helps them remain calm while others collapse. It helps them stay focused while others quit. It helps them prepare for the next level instead of being crushed by the current level. Perspective is everything, and belief shapes perspective like nothing else. Another way belief strengthens resilience is by giving you the emotional endurance to keep going. Pain drains energy. Stress drains motivation. Disappointments drain hope. But belief restores all of these. It becomes a well you draw strength from. When you are tired, belief reminds you that rest does not mean defeat. When you are hurt, belief reminds you that healing is possible. When you are lost, belief reminds you that clarity will come. When you are afraid, belief reminds you that courage is still inside you. Without belief, emotions control you. With belief, emotions cannot imprison you. Belief also helps you separate temporary conditions from permanent truth. You may be struggling today, but that is not who you are. It is only where you are. You may feel stuck right now, but that does not mean you are incapable. You may feel alone, but that does not mean you are abandoned. Belief helps you understand that situations change, seasons shift, and circumstances evolve. What looks like an ending may actually be a beginning. What feels like loss may actually be protection. What seems delayed may actually be preparation. This ability to discern the temporary nature of difficulty keeps your heart steady and your mind grounded. Resilience also grows through the stories you tell yourself. If you tell yourself you are weak, you behave weakly. If you tell yourself you are defeated, you stop trying. But belief helps you build a new story, a story where you see yourself as capable, equipped, and empowered to rise above any obstacle. This inner narrative becomes the foundation of resilience. Every time you repeat it, you strengthen it. Every time you live it, you reinforce it. Belief strengthens resilience by making you courageous enough to start again. Many people quit not because they failed, but because they were too ashamed to try again. But belief removes that shame. It tells you that trying again is a sign of strength, not weakness. It tells you that growth often requires multiple attempts. It tells you that the journey may take time, but every step forward matters. This courage to begin again, even after setbacks. is a major pillar of resilience. Ultimately, belief strengthens resilience by connecting you to a sense of purpose. A person with purpose can survive almost anything. A person with purpose does not give up easily. A person with purpose sees beyond the pain. Belief keeps that purpose alive even in the darkest seasons. And when purpose stays alive, the person stays alive mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Belief becomes the glue that holds everything together when life tries to tear everything apart. That is why belief matters so deeply. It does not take away the struggle, but it gives you the strength to outlast it. It makes you unshakable in a world full of storms. It keeps you moving when everything else tells you to stop. And with every trial you overcome through belief, your resilience grows, your character deepens, and your destiny becomes stronger. Belief shapes your future because your life always moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts and expectations. Every decision you make, every risk you take, every opportunity you pursue, and every barrier you break is determined by what you believe is possible for you. If you believe small, you live small. If you believe big, you grow into the size of your vision. The future does not begin in the calendar, it begins in the mind. Before anything changes outwardly, it must change inwardly. The thoughts you repeat, the expectations you carry, and the beliefs you hold deep within your heart become the blueprint of the life you eventually experience. What you believe becomes the silent architect shaping your path long before you step into it. Many people fail to reach their potential not because they lack talent, but because they lack belief. They let past failures define their future. They let others' opinions dictate what they can or cannot do. They allow fear to limit the territory of their dreams. When belief is weak, your life becomes restricted. You avoid challenges. You reject opportunities. You settle for less because you don't think you're capable of more. In that way, disbelief becomes a barrier that keeps you stuck in the same patterns, the same routines, and the same cycles. But when belief takes root inside you, the walls around your life begin to break. Suddenly, options that once felt unreachable start to feel possible. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start to view life not as something that happens to you, but as something you can shape. Belief changes the choices you make. Every day is filled with choices, some small, some big, but all of them shape your tomorrow. When you believe in your own potential, you start choosing habits that align with your growth. You invest your time differently. You spend energy on things that matter. You stop wasting your life on distractions and start committing to actions that move you forward. Belief makes you selective about the voices you listen to, the environments you stay in, and the people you allow close to your dreams. You become intentional, and intention leads to transformation. Without belief, you drift. With belief, you direct your destiny. Another powerful way belief shapes your future is by influencing how you respond to challenges. Challenges are inevitable. Difficult seasons come to everyone, but belief determines whether those challenges break you or build you. A person who believes they are capable sees challenges as temporary obstacles, not permanent limitations. They understand that setbacks are part of the process. They view failure as feedback, not identity. They keep learning, adjusting, and trying again. This mindset creates growth, and growth builds a strong future. On the other hand, a person who lacks belief interprets difficulties as proof that they should quit. They see setbacks as a sign they aren't meant to succeed. They internalize failure instead of learning from it. This response leads to stagnation and a future filled with regret. Your future is also shaped by the vision you hold internally. Vision is simply belief stretched over time. When you have a clear picture of what you desire, your mind begins to align itself with that direction. You start to attract ideas, solutions, and improvements that support that vision. You become more aware of opportunities that match your goals. Your focus sharpens, your motivation increases, and your creativity awakens. This shift is not magic. It is the power of belief activating your mind's ability to guide you toward meaningful outcomes. A weak belief creates a blurry future. A strong belief creates a focused, powerful vision. Belief shapes your future by influencing the standard you set for yourself. People who believe in their worth set high standards in relationships, work lifestyle, and personal integrity. They refuse to settle for less than they deserve. They do not tolerate habits that weaken them or environments that drain them. These standards shape the direction of their life. They elevate themselves step by step, year by year. But people who lack belief in their own value accept anything, any treatment, any opportunity, any environment, because they do not believe they can have better. Over time, these low standards build a low future. This is why strengthening your belief is so critical. It raises your standards, and raised standards reshape your life. Another way belief shapes the future is through persistence. A person who believes deeply in their purpose does not quit easily. They push through discomfort. They endure difficult seasons. They remain committed long after the excitement fades. Persistence is what turns potential into reality. The future belongs to those who stay long enough to see it manifest. Many people quit right before things begin to shift in their favor. They stop trying because they assume nothing is happening. But a believing person stays consistent, understanding that transformation often happens silently before it becomes visible. Belief fuels persistence, and persistence shapes destiny. Belief also plays a major role in the relationships you build. The people in your future are influenced by the person you become today. When you believe in growth and purpose, you naturally surround yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and inspire you. You avoid toxic circles that limit your progress. You invest in meaningful connections that contribute to your journey. These relationships become part of your future. They support you, guide you, and sometimes even open doors you could not open on your own. A strong belief system attracts strong people. Weak belief attracts weak environments. Your circle becomes part of your destiny, and your belief determines that circle. Your belief also shapes how boldly you take risks. The future always rewards courageous action. Opportunities rarely come to those who wait passively. They come to those who move with confidence. A believing person does not wait for perfect conditions. They move forward even when uncertain. They understand that courage creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. Every risk they take, whether it succeeds or fails, builds experience, knowledge, and strength. Over time, these small, courageous steps accumulate and lead to big success. Your future expands or shrinks based on the risks your belief system allows you to take. Finally, belief shapes your future because it influences the identity you build. Identity is powerful. You live according to who you think you are. If you believe you are strong, you make strong decisions. If you believe you are capable, you pursue capable actions. If you believe you are worthy, you treat yourself as valuable. But if you believe you are limited, broken, or insignificant, your life becomes confined to those beliefs. Changing your future starts with changing your identity. And changing your identity starts with strengthening your belief. In the end, belief is not just an emotion, it is a force that silently constructs the path ahead of you. It creates the mindset you need, the habits you practice, the people you attract, the courage you carry, and the resilience you build. Your future is shaped day by what you choose to believe about yourself, your purpose, and your possibilities. That is why belief matters so profoundly, because it becomes the compass that guides your entire journey, the engine that drives your progress, and the foundation on which your future is built. Thank you for watching.